Welcome back. Today I got to do some maintenance on the Avid Flyer. I got to redo the spark plugs and also rebuild the Mikuni pump. So I figured today would be a great day to give you a walk around the Avid Flyer. We'll start from the front of the aircraft and work our way back. So this Avid Flyer is operated by a Rotax 582 C gearbox, dual radiator, water-cooled system. We have the upgraded wider stance landing gear. Actually, it's night and day compared to when this thing was a stock landing gear. It could do this wider landing gear. Not nearly as squirrely. It was pretty bad when we first had it. Also, Matco single puck brakes, single disc, Aero Classic 8.5 by 6 wheels, a lot bigger than standard. Standard wheel I think came to here. These are not stupid big where I'm slowing down to 15 knots loss, but actually being able to fly and maintain some speed and soft enough to get you down where you land when you need them. Went our way up into the cockpit, simple design. Two-seater, wood flooring, my panel, basic steam gauge, work great when you need them and they work well. One thing you do notice is a water temp, EGTs on this, and as well as fuel pressure and water pressure for this type system. Single brakes one-sided. These are the upgraded pedals. Also, I keep my radio here, just a simple ICOM, kind of on a cell phone thing that holds it down. My flight intercom allows me to talk with passengers, which I really don't have too often, and allows me to hear myself over the radio. My fuel on and off selectors, boom boom, both sinks, both 14-gallon tanks, as well as my header tank vent. Basically what I was told from Bill Sherlock on these Avids, the header tank want to install a breather valve along the top, basically get all the air out of your header tank, before you fly. And in mid-flight, if you ever see any massive air bubbles build up in there, boom, on, tanks out, because they're not back vented into the tank itself. And my ELT, radio, all that good stuff. So inside for navigation, what I really use is my iPad and my Amazon built ADS-B in box. These work great. You could build them for around $130. Well, when I built mine, it gets you your weather, all your traffic, especially since this aircraft is not ADS-B out. It's nice to be able to see at least where other people are at, even though they can't see me. Basically, you could run a hardline into it for your power system, or I also carry a backup battery just in case. And this is where I also keep the GPS antenna for it. And connects wirelessly to my iPad here. Working our way out. So this is the Avid Flyer Mark IV heavy hauler wing. This wing is the wing that allows you to get a lot more useful load out of your aircraft. Great plane. This is also most setups you see on these Kit Foxes Avid Flyers is a flapper-on type. Avid Flyer actually has a decent sized baggage area located back here in the back door. As you can see, I basically keep spare tools, spark plugs, stuff on those lines, mixing bottle, rag, stuff on those lines back here. But pretty good spot. Stick some gear back there. Back here we have the 9-inch, 3.5 Matco tail wheel with the spring, new gear, all that happy ink on it. And then once again, the Avid Flyer Mark IV, rounded vertical stabilizer. Coming back up here, my turtle deck, radio mounted to it, glass ceiling, that's the vent there. Come on back. So you vent your gas tanks on this, just a simple vent hole. Up front, we also have the 3-bladed warp drive. It's been a great blade thus far. It's lasted a lot of stuff. The leading edge, nice protection on those. So it's been a great blade. Here is the Rotex 582, 2-stroke engine, water cooled, dual radiator. So this engine is a pretty reliable 65 horsepower, great light weight to power ratio. Electric start, dual ignition. These are Ducati ignition coils. Running dual spark plugs. This motor is actually inverted on the Avid, where it wasn't so much on the Kit Fox. The reason behind that was the designer of the Avid wanted to make it look more like a Cessna with the cowling up front versus that round radial look you had with the early model Kit Foxes. Downside about inverting it, you go from a 600 hour TBO with the heads facing up to a 300 TBO with the heads facing down. But it does look like a better plane. It comes with, it is fed by 2 Bing 54 carburetors and 1 Mikuni pulse fuel pump. How this fuel pump works is actually ran by a pulse line. The negative pressure when the motor cranks over creates a pump pulse, which actually feeds the fuel through there. My fuel filter. This right here is my sending unit to my fuel pressure, so I know my pump's working. 13-pound radiator cap. These are gonna get replaced. Look like the engine mounts are due. Right here is your rotary valve. Oil for that, feeds and then exits on out. You have basically a spinning disc with a hole chunk in, almost like a Pac-Man. So it spins, and when the opening comes along, the carburetor, that's when you get your fuel air mixture into it, spins along, and that's when it comes in there and just spins. And that gear gets extra oil for that. This is the 2-stroke exhaust. Try to get the most power you can out of it by the expansion chamber on 2-stroke. Whereas a lot of people remember 2-stroke dirt bikes and they have what you call on the pipe. Well, you can't have on the pipe when you're flying. You can't be trying to find that medium spot. So they try to make a more docile exhaust system with this. So it's the most power you can get out of it at the best RPMs, I guess you would say. This is also a C gearbox, one of the most bulletproof gearboxes they have out there for these motors. So this motor's at 175, that's what I'm doing, 175 hour, basically 25 hours of my spark plug, 75 hours of my pump. Gonna swap that out today. But I'm at 175 right now. I'm actually thinking about, I've seen a lot of guys do a, 670, 90 horsepower 2-stroke. And I am thinking about doing that conversion on this. The only problem is going to be you're going to have to, I believe, run an electric pump and bigger radiators. A lot of guys are going down here with the belly radiator, which, you know, works just fine. But I'm also looking at maybe there's like a ZX1 radiator that kind of bends, a nice curve into it. Putting that into the belly of the cowl to feed this and keep it closer to my pumps, not having to run down all the way and run back up, feed these two guys and back in. It'd be more of a closed, tighter system. Just a thought, haven't worked it out yet. I got another, I don't know, 100 hours before I actually considered doing that. But this is the Rotex 582. Simple motor, runs great, does its job. As you can see, I got it all torn apart, so basically I'm gonna get ready and start doing the maintenance on her, and I hope you enjoyed the walk around. Any questions, feel free to ask. I don't do this channel for the money or the YouTube or whatever it is. I do it so my dad can kind of watch me. He lives about 8 or 9 hours away, so he can kind of watch me and my flying adventures. But if the rest of you are enjoying it, I hope you are, and let me know. Say goodbye, Nova Beans. Say goodbye, Nova.